Hello, my name is Sarah Roberts, and welcome to my second book critique. My featured text today is a story called A Chair for My Mother and has won a Caldecott Award. This book is about a little girl and her mother whose house caught on fire and all their belongings were destroyed. They live in an apartment with the girl's grandmother. However, they do not have much furniture, only a kitchen table and chairs which were given to them by kind neighbors and friends. The girl's mother works as a waitress in a restaurant, and sometimes after school, the girl does small jobs there too. She always puts half her earnings in a jar at home, where her mother also puts her tip money. The girl explains in the story that when the jar is full, they plan to buy a chair for their home, because they currently have no comfortable place to rest. They are finally able to fill the jar and buy the chair which they have been dreaming of. I chose this book because it depicts a single-parent household which is very relatable for many children. It teaches children that sometimes the simplest things are what make you the happiest. And it also teaches them the value of working hard, saving money, and spending on practical things. The first lesson that I created for this book is a second grade math lesson in which students will solve problems with money. Students will be given a set of coins including pennies, nickels, and dimes, and quarters, and will discuss how much each is worth. Students will be put in pairs and will practice adding different types of coins together, and then students will practice solving word problems involving various amounts of money. Students will then create their own word problem on their own, based on the book, and will share it on Padlet. Students must solve their own problems as well as 3 other students' problems. Here are some example word problems that I created. If the girl and her mother wish to buy a chair that is $30 and they only have 15, how much more do they need to buy the chair? If the chair costs $63 and they give the cashier 70, how much will the girl and her mother get back? The next lesson I created for this book is a second grade social studies lesson, and students will team up in groups of 4 to 5 and research different types of community helper jobs, such as policemen, firemen, mailmen, or other jobs. Students will discuss the different jobs with each other and explain why each one is necessary. Students will then pick a job, or the students' groups will pick a job, and perform a skit in front of the class depicting a situation in which the people doing that job would be needed, and they should also explain why the job is important and what the people doing the job do. Students will then write essays describing what they would save their money for and why if they were in the same situation as the girl and her mother from the book. The next book that I read is called The Hello Goodbye Window, and this story tells of a kitchen window in a child's grandparents' house, which they call the Hello Goodbye Window. The window is special because you can peek in and see Nana and Poppy when you arrive, and you can surprise them, or they can look out, and if they see you first, they can wave or play silly games. The child tells of the wonders of the kitchen and Poppy's harmonica playing. When it gets dark out, the window shows the reflection of their faces, and Nana tells all the names of the stars. Many fun things happen at Nana and Poppy's until it is time to go home, but first, before they do, they say goodbye through the window. Next is a Thai lullaby called Hush. This lullaby is a great way to incorporate Thai culture into the classroom, and a Thai mother hushes various creatures to sleep in an attempt to keep them from waking her baby. She tells a mosquito, a cat, a mouse, a frog, a pig, duck, monkey, buffalo, and an elephant all to be quiet as her baby is sleeping. At the end, all the animals are asleep and she herself falls asleep, but her baby lays wide awake. This book is also a great way for children to see all different types of animals and hear what noises they make. Next is Mr. Gumpy's outing. Mr. Gumpy decides to take his boat out on the water. Two children ask him if they can come along, and he agrees as long as they say they will behave. Next, a rabbit asks to join, followed by several other animals. They all sail without disruption until all the passengers misbehave in their own way, and the boat tips over. However, Mr. Gumpy isn't angry. They all dry off in the sun and have tea together, and then they go home. and Mr. Gumpy even invites them for a ride another day. This is a great story because it teaches children not to become angry when things don't go their way, but to rather make the best of things. Finally is a book called Miss Rumphius. This book is about a girl named Alice who eventually becomes Miss Rumphius. When she was a child, she worked in her grandfather's shop where she helped him paint pictures and where he also made figures for the front of ships. Alice decides that when she grows up, she wants to travel to different lands and have a house by the sea, just like her grandfather. But her grandfather tells her that she must also do something to make the world a more beautiful place, just as he does by painting the figures for the ship. So Alice grew up and traveled to many different countries and eventually got a house by the sea, but she was not sure what she could do to make the world more beautiful. Now her favorite flowers were called lupins, but she became sick and was not able to plant any. When she was well again, she saw that the wind had spread seeds to nearby fields, and for the rest of the summer she scattered seeds all over the town until it was filled with lupins. In this way, Miss Rumphius made the world a more beautiful place. Miss Rumphius then tells her nieces and nephews, who also want to travel and have a house by the sea, that they can do so, but they must also do something to make the world more beautiful. Thanks for watching.